Welcome to the Pyramyd Insider. I'm Tyler Patner. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new offering from Benjamin, the Wildfire. The Wildfire was announced at the 2017 SHOT Show. It's seen a lot of press since then. Very exciting rifle for two reasons. One, it's semi-automatic, so it's a 12-round repeater, and also it's $150 retail. Right now, lowest price PCP on the Pyramyd Air website and probably on the market for that matter. This gun is set to take the PCP world by storm. Let's see why. Starting at the front of the gun, we do have a fiber optic green front sight here. Balances nicely with the non-fiber optic rear sight, which is adjustable for windage and elevation. Just below that, you'll notice we have our PCP pressure tube, and it does have a Foster quick disconnect fitting here. So links up with most hoses, hand pumps, whatever you got, this will probably work with. And if you do need an adapter, just know, got to get that quick disconnect adapter. Got a nice dust cover there that flips right on. Now this is the same air cylinder here that is on the Benjamin Discovery. You'll also find it on the Maximus. Same thing, same gauge in fact. Now it does read in CO2 and air. You're only going to want to fill this gun with air. This is not a CO2 platform, air only. That said, it's a 2,000 PSI fill, so a little bit lower, a lot easier for those of you that are hand pumping out there, and obviously not going to take up a lot of air in your tanks if you are filling it from a tank as well. As I said, the rifle is a 12-round repeater, and I'll show you how that works here. Put this down. So this is our mag housing. Now you notice right here we have this little pin lock right here. We're just going to pull that back. You see it goes all the way into the open position, and you can actually slide the cassette here out. Now this is a 12-round housing. It's the same one used in the 1077 or some of the older like the Night Stalker, if you guys are familiar with that from Crosman. Same magazine, so you can actually purchase extras of these and have them ready to go. Go ahead and throw that back in once it's loaded and ready, and you're just going to push that back to lock it in place. Now it can't be removed. But that whole cassette then loads into the bottom of the gun, right like that. Very simple. So just behind the magazine, we do have a crossbolt style safety. Simply push it across from right to left to put it on hot and ready to go, and you'll see the red line right about there telling you it's good. And then if you push it back through, you're back on safe again. The trigger is a double action trigger, so this basically functions a lot like a revolver does, where this is actually cocking the gun and then releasing the hammer to go ahead, hit the valve, and open it up to push air behind the pellet. So it works as a double action trigger, a lot different than most other guns. So not only are you cycling the action, moving that magazine internally here, but you're also firing the gun with one pull of the trigger, so something to keep in mind. On top of the rifle, we have an 11mm dovetail. Accepts most mounts. Keep in mind, though, it is plastic, so you don't want to go ahead and over-torque things too much. You might eat into that. Now, these Mantis mounts and this Mantis scope here, haven't had any problems with them in terms of movement or anything like that, so it seems pretty solid, and so far haven't seen any problems. But another thing to be aware of, if you guys do put a sizable scope on this, that you are going to have to clear that rear sight, so something to keep in mind as well. It's going to affect where you place the scope on that rail. The Wildfire unscoped comes in just under 4 pounds, super lightweight rifle. So this is going to be manageable for young shooters, older shooters as well. I mean, the length of pull isn't terrible, so younger shooters can have no problem with this. At $150, I'm not sure what the accuracy is going to be like. We're going to have to go find out, but I can tell you guys right now, Crosman is claiming 60 shots per fill, and again, that's a 2,000 PSI fill. And Crosman rates this gun at 800 feet per second, which is fairly stout for a 2,000 PSI fill 177 semi-automatic gun. Those of you probably can tell it's built off a 1077 platform, so very similar in terms of function, feel, all of that stuff. So 800 feet per second on the PCP side of things for that gun would be pretty darn good. So if we can get close to that mark, right around 12 foot-pounds, I think we're going to have a winner here. And obviously we want to see if it comes close to that shot count number. 60 shots is quite a few, but at 12 foot-pounds, there's no reason this couldn't be used for small game, pest elimination in the backyard at shorter distances. But I'm really eager to go shoot this, so we're going to head out to the range. We'll catch you guys out there. All right, guys, so we tried a bunch of pellets, about 15 pellets or so in 177. Nothing worked but H&N. Dead serious, nothing but H&N shot with any decency. The Barracuda matches, about a 5/8 group here at 20 yards, not too bad for 5 shots. And the field target trophies, much better at a 1/2 inch. So the Wildfire certainly capable out to about 20 yards, no doubt about it. And I would say probably a good 30-35 yard gun. This is at 45. Now we got 1.5 inches out of those Barracuda matches and about 2 inches out of the H&N FTTs here. Overall though, not too bad honestly. For a $150 gun, this is the way I'm looking at it. If you bought a $150 spring piston gun, could you shoot those good of groups at that distance? That is the question, and I don't think I could. So to be honest with you, I think for the money that you're spending here, the performance is quite good in terms of accuracy and pretty easy to achieve. Trigger pull makes it a little bit tough to get good accuracy, but overall I'm pretty impressed with the Wildfire from an accuracy perspective. So Crosman's claiming 60 shots and about 800 feet per second. Now, definitely thinking they were talking about a very lightweight pellet with that, because even with like an 8-grain pellet, we're only getting about 7 to 720 feet per second. But with our H&M Barracuda match, which proved to be the most accurate for us from a 2000 PSI fill, you're looking at about 30 good shots. Now, that's within a 100 foot per second spread. At 20 yards, that's not going to be a big deal, but once you stretch it out, you're really only looking about 12 to 16 shots that you're going to want to use for your best accuracy. Now, if you're just shooting in the backyard, this is going to be more than fine to take 30, 40 shots off of, but as you can see, you're going to drop off pretty quickly and pretty steadily with most of your pellets from about 2000 PSI to 1100. For $150, guys, I really wasn't sure what to expect with the Wildfire here. Certainly a cool new offering, with the semi-auto capabilities and, 2000 PSI fill pressure, and at $150, it's got a lot of very budget-friendly features that make it really easy for a lot of people to use and get into. It's got a lot of plastic on it. The shot count was nowhere near what Crosman claimed, but redeeming quality, it was pretty accurate. For having a 10-pound trigger, which is a very heavy trigger, it's certainly, under 1 inch at 20 yards, you're going to be able to stretch that to 30, and even at 45 yards, 1.5 inches is not too bad. It's a little pellet picky, but overall, guys, the Wildfire for the money, certainly a good entry-level option if you're looking to get into PCPs. So give it a look on PyramydAir.com. For The Insider, I'm Tyler Patner. We'll see you guys at the next one.